somebody that is looking to get your offer accepted? Or are you an agent that just has a client that is struggling to get an offer accepted? If that's you, stick around, watch this video, and we're gonna talk about 5 things to help you get your offer accepted. The market has slowed a little bit, but consistently it is still a multiple offer scenario for each listing. Now it's 5 offers instead of over the summer, it was 15 to 25. But there's still multiple offers, and you want to make sure yours stands out. So first of all, number 1 is going to be contingency timelines. Contingencies are the inspections or the different things that have to be done before you want to move forward. So for example, you have a home inspection contingency, and typically that is 17 days, and you can develop a good relationship with your local inspector and get that shortened to 12-day contingency timelines. So you can have the inspection done in 7, you get it back, you go back and forth, and you can remove that within, say, 12 days. Another one's an appraisal contingency. That typically is around 17 days as well. But there's no reason that in this market can't be done in 12 to 15 days. Unless it's a VA, it might take a little bit longer, but in some cases, because VA deals aren't always accepted, the appraisers have more availability, unlike an FHA appraiser, a little bit busier these days. And then you've got your loan contingency. And so that can be reduced as well if you have a great lender that does the underwriting up front. Most banks, especially your big banks, your US banks, your Wells Fargo, Chase, they're not going to do underwriting up front. They're going to wait until you're in contract to even start your work, because there's work that has to be done. There's people that have to be paid to do that work. And if you're not in contract, they don't have any guarantee that they're going to get paid. Not that if you're in contract, it's a guarantee it's going to close either, but the likelihood is obviously greater. However, if you have a lender like I do, thank you, Nick Lucia, he and his team do the underwriting up front. And in the past, I've had other preferred lenders that did it as well, because you want to make sure that your offer is going to come through. And it's something that your lender can say, yes, we've pulled the verification of employment, also known as VOE. We've verified the funds to be able to close. Those are all things that in a quicken, let's say, offer doesn't get verified up front. I recently had a listing where it was self-identified income and assets and self-verified, which means the person can write that they make $500,000 a year. Maybe they only make $350,000, or maybe they made $500,000 last year, but they changed jobs or careers, so that money isn't going to be able to flow through. And again, that's lender stop and talk to your lender. So those are the 3 ways or contingencies that you can shorten and ways to do so. Underwriting approval, like I just talked about. So really it's kind of 1A, if you will, but the underwriting approval up front, it basically just says that it's going to happen. Like the things that were said in the application are validated and are verified, and you are a more solid buyer. So therefore you're able to reduce that loan contingency timeline and close sooner. Only look at homes that are on the market 7 days or more. The market's a little soft right now, so that actually is easier. I'm going to show some houses tomorrow. In fact, we're showing 3 of them, and 2 of the 3 have been on the market for more than a couple weeks. So we know that there's not a bidding war there. Typically, and why do I say 7 days? The first 3 days, if it's priced right, first 3 days is just showing times. People are getting set up, people are getting into the house, maybe it's an open house, whatever it is. Days 4 and 5, usually we've had offers come in by then, so we're countering. Day 6, you're typically in contract, if it was priced right. So if it's day 7, either there's still negotiating happening, or there's no offers, and so you're the only show in town. Number 4, communication. Being a buyer's agent, you want to communicate, or if you're client, you want your agent to communicate ahead of time what's important to the seller. Are they going to need to live in the house after you close escrow? It's called a seller in possession, or also called a rent back. You can do so up to 29 days in the state of California. After that, it's a leasehold agreement. And write the offer accordingly. If they said that certain things are important, like the fridge is not going to go, well, then don't click that you want the fridge included in the offer. If they said that, if the seller's agent said that they absolutely don't want to close within 30 days, don't write a 21-day escrow. And the opposite's also true. If they want to close fast, don't write a 45-day escrow. You're not gonna get it accepted. And then you also want to have your lender that does the same. Another reason why it's important to have a lender locally that's going to follow up. I was just today talking to a guy at the gym that is going to go work for a certain company, and I was like, well, I'll just tell you, it's Quicken. And I told him the reason why you don't necessarily want to have a company like that backing you is because they're not going to follow up. If I go show houses tomorrow afternoon on a Saturday, my client falls in love with it, with one of them, and we want to write an offer, good luck getting a Quicken or a Rocket Mortgage or whatever, calling over the weekend to basically help solidify that your buyer's qualified. However, mine does. I mean, it's kind of rhetorical. I wouldn't have my preferred lender if he didn't, or if they didn't follow up and help make sure that the listing agent knew that they could be comfortable accepting my client's offer. We want to follow up and make sure the offer was received. It would surprise you how many times an agent will send over an offer and not even call or text to make sure you got the offer. I actually had it happen recently where I was going through some spam messages and found an offer. Now, his offer wouldn't have gotten accepted anyways because it was so far below the competitive offers, but he never even called. And so his client is out there probably thinking they lost the house to a Bay Area buyer, so to speak, or a cash buyer or whatever it is, when no, their offer just was never physically received. And then communicate, or all of those things happen so that the seller's agent can communicate back to the seller confidently that you are the best offer. Maybe you're not even the most expensive or the highest priced, but because you did all of these things, hence 5 things that won't cost you any more money, you're doing these things and therefore making a better case so that you can get that house without having to spend more dollars. And then activity. Today's market is not what it was 6 months ago. It's not what it was 6 years ago. You want an agent that is active in the market. I mean, if your agent hasn't sold a house or hasn't helped somebody in the last 4 months, they probably are still telling you, oh, it's crazy. Everybody's 15 offers or more and everything's 50,000 above list, or 10% above list price. That's not the case. That's just absolutely not the case. So you want somebody that's currently this month selling houses, have them show you. They can pull it up on multiple different not revenue streams, but different venues that will show you how many houses they've sold, and ask them for the reviews. Who else is saying that you should hire them? So what do the reviews look like? And do they only list houses? That's another thing. Your agent might have 40 transactions this year, but 38 of them are all listings. So do they really know the buyer side as well as you want them to? I don't know. Maybe not. I can tell you, if I'm representing a buyer, I want them to know that I would just close a deal or 2 deals, in fact, in the last 2 weeks. And I know how to get their offer accepted. Of course, you know how if you've listed houses, but I think you get what I'm saying. So just all of these things will help you in the process, helps make it a much more smooth process, or a smoother process, I should say, as you go. and none of it costs you a thing. So again, if you're an agent and you've been telling your client this maybe, feel free to share it with them. It's always great to hear from a different voice. If you are a buyer, maybe share this with your agent. And if you are a buyer or seller that don't have an agent, feel free, let me know, I'm here to help. Please drop your comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts or your opinions on these topics, and what are some things that you've done maybe to help your offer get accepted that didn't cost anything. So thanks again. If you haven't already, please subscribe, please like, all that good stuff, share it, and talk to you soon. Thanks, bye-bye.